Good morning. Welcome back to another exciting edition for the American Canadian pre-race show. I'm your host, Joshua Lee Jaguar. It is great to have y'all back. Tonight we start the playoffs. First playoff race of the start of the season.
Leave it!
Hope everybody's having a great morning. Sorry, y'all. I'm having little technical difficulties with audio, so I'm trying to fix all that right now. Oh, man. All right. Like I said, tonight we are rolling into Daytona for the night race. Start of the playoffs. Your playoff drivers look like this right here.
Alan! Sorry! I'm having to deal with Ken.
You got Hangover, Jaguar, Dilly, Tar Heel, Mike, Simon, Bulldog, Bruce, and Clemson. It's going to be a three-race playoff. The last driver after the first three races will be eliminated. So on the bottom two will be Bruce and Clemson. After Daytona, we go to the Charlotte Roval. Then we go to Martinsville night race. And man, this is going to be the first three playoff races are going to be interesting to find who can fine tune who's in the playoff format, who's still trying to get situated into the playoffs, because this makes Clemson's second appearance into the playoffs, and him and Bruce and Bulldog's probably the only three drivers that have not got a win besides Simon. Simon has not got a win, Bulldog hasn't got a win, Bruce has not got a win, and Clemson has not got a win. That being said and done, going into tonight's race is going to determine who's going to be that last person to get eliminated. And we got Tar Heel with us this morning. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yep, what's up, y'all?
Alrighty. Tonight, we start Daytona. 80 laps here at the Great American Night Race. Next week, we got the Charlotte Roval. After that, it will be the elimination race at Martinsville. Under the lights, our second race under the lights. Who do you think will probably be who do you think will be on that bubble going into that last playoff spot, into that last race right there?
Oh boy, probably the same ones that are on the bubble today. Clemson and Bruce. Unless, Bruce can rebound, because, tonight he may not be racing with us. So, if he can't, or if he's not, then, he's already going to be in a hole, so.
Right. I mean, them points are valuable right now because it's the playoffs. I mean, it's Daytona. Daytona's going to be a wild first playoff race because everybody's anxious to get in the cars now since after Richmond was a bunch of shenanigans. Now we're actually in the playoffs. That changes for everybody now. All right, you made it to the playoffs. Now
You could be dead last in the playoffs right now and be leading the playoff points at the end of the night.
Exactly.
With a win.
You win, you advance.
Yep.
And I mean, this makes everybody's. Well, let's see. That makes you, Hangover, Clemson, and I believe Bruce was in season 1 too, wasn't he? So you got 4 drivers that are originally from season 1. This is their second appearance in the playoffs. We got Jaguar that came back after some time off from season 1. He came back and basically got 5 wins. That's a big improvement from season 1. Then you got Bulldog that's a rookie for this league right here. Simon that's coming in season 2. There's a lot of drivers that have got the playoff experience, but you also got to look at the veterans for this year right here. Who's been consistent, like you, Hangover, Jaguar. Does that momentum carry on for the first 3 races with these 3 drivers right here? And knowing that they don't have to worry about winning. All they got to worry about is just finishing in the top 3 for the next 3 races. And then after that, second round comes around. That's where they're going to be stepping up. Do you see anything changing for the first 3 races right here with among them top 3 drivers?
Well, from season 1, I believe that there's going to be 2 guys not going to be in the Final Four that were in the Final Four last season. That would be Clemson and Bruce. I think that them 2 ain't going to make the Final Four. I believe Hangover's going to make the Final Four. Tar Heel's going to make it. I believe Jaguar's going to make it. And I believe that Payne will make it. That's my prediction for the Final Four. If Payne races every race.
My Final Four prediction would be Hangover, Jaguar, Tar Heel, and Dilly. Mathematically,
I forgot about him.
Mathematically, Simon can be in the hunt for the Final Four. It all depends on how bad you want to get into the Final Four, because we got tracks that slipped away from the 19 at Texas. He dominated at Vegas, and that's another playoff track that everybody's been talking about. All right, y'all got to look at Jaguar going into Vegas, because he goes into Texas after having a blown engine. He rebounds, takes Texas and Vegas. He's got him he's already secured his spot right there going into the Final Four if he wins out right there with Texas and Vegas, because then Phoenix comes around. The Final Four are dead even in points. There's no points involved in it. It's about who finishes ahead of the Final Four. That is the biggest anticipation right here. This is going to be an intense championship round race right here.
Going to be an intense playoff.
I mean, the only way I see Clemson making it, advancing to the next round after Martinsville, he has to win at Daytona. That's the only shot he has of mathematically of advancing, because after that, like we said, we got Charlotte Roval next week, and we got Martinsville. them two tracks are not the best for the 22 car right there. I mean, tonight is his only chance to have a shot at winning, but can't leave out Bulldog. Bulldog,
Yeah, he's a restrictor plate pro, I tell you. Like I said, whenever I raced with him at Talladega a few weeks ago, he was doing good.
I mean, I agree with you. I don't see Clemson making it to the Final Four this year. This would have to be a Cinderella story right here for Clemson just to come back and win at Daytona, second round, win the next race, and the first one of the first three races right there. I don't see that this year. I don't see that right now because he's got. To be honest with you, he's got probably two people that probably work with him. Other than that, he's on his own tonight right now because of the enemies that he's got, what he's got done on the track to them. He's got no one to work with tonight, so he's a sitting duck unless he stays in the draft. If he stays in the draft, then he's good. But he's got nobody to work with tonight. I mean, how would you try to butter up people to try to say, hey, can you work with me? To push me up to the front? Or what's his mindset right now?
Well, I believe, he's going to be kind of nervous going in, like you said. I mean, he may or may not have a lot of help tonight, but we'll just have to wait and see.
I mean, I feel scared going into tonight because this is a track that is known for upsets, actually. I mean, because remember, Hangover's looking for that 10th win. You're looking for your second win of the season. Jaguars looking for that sixth race of the season. Simon, Bulldog are all trying to get their first win and counting.
Bruce, too.
Yeah, Bruce is trying to get that first win. Clemson's trying to get that first win. And, I mean, the playoffs make people do different things now. And, I mean, to me, it's like a normal race day. It's a normal race day for everybody. Some of them that are not nervous. Some of them are nervous or trying to figure out, okay, who do I work with? Who can I work with? Who do I need to get on my good side before the race starts where I know that they're going to work with me throughout the first two stages and maybe the last 20 laps of the race right there? Who's willing to take chances to work with me? That is the biggest question for the 22, the 41, I believe it. I don't know if Bulldog switched numbers or not. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good drivers going into tonight that's willing to say, okay, I'm not worried about the first race of the playoffs. I'm going to go lay back for a little bit, see what happens up front, and see what the shenanigans is going to be like. Then I come out, force my car up to the front, stay up front because it's one of the head scratcher ones right there. Like everybody says, you go to a restricted plate race, it's a head scratcher.
The way I look at it is, it's going to come down to that last pit stop. If it's a green flag pit stop, there's going to have to be some strategy done.
To me, there's going to be a lot of kissing butt for the night's race on who works with who. And a lot of drivers are going to be on their A game. I mean, like you said, truth be honest with you, I don't see a green flag pit stop tonight in that last stage right there. I don't see it tonight. I believe somebody's going to try to pull a Hail Mary and end up getting bit because of a late caution. That's the only scenario I see, because last couple of races when we was at restricted plate races, it came down to a last caution a late caution with 10 laps to go, and it ended up biting the people that was already pitted, threw them into the back, put the ones that had the fresher tires up front. I think it's going to be a totally different ball game tonight. If we do have a late caution, everybody's going to hit pit road, but there's going to be a 2-tire stop, maybe fuel only, the way I see it. It's all about, okay, do I want to give up track position for 4 tires? Yeah, I'll give up track position for 4 tires if a late caution comes out. If a caution don't come out, you got to make sure you're communicating with everybody else. Okay, I'm taking 4 tires. Who's all taking 4 tires with me, or is it just going to be a gas and go? I mean, there's different scenarios going into tonight's race, and dang, you got to be willing to take. You got to, I mean, whew. There's going to be a lot of gambling tonight, actually. I mean, there's going to be a lot of butt kissing tonight going into tonight's race right here because of like we said. Do I want to pit with this driver right here after what he's done to me? If I do, he better work with me right here because that's his only chance of advancing to the next round right here. Or the opposite way around. Okay, this guy's already got himself basically locked in, but do I really want to take the chance on pushing him and letting him advance and not me advance? So there's a lot of scenarios going into this race right here because it'll tell the tale. It'll set the scale for the last 2 races. Dang. But I mean, I want to see Simon do well tonight. That's my biggest thing.
I mean, I want to see everybody do well tonight, you know?
I mean, there's a lot of...
I mean, so far, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 guys racing tonight.
That's actually pretty good right there.
But let's see. Hangover hasn't voted yet.
Well, you know he's gonna.
So most likely we'll have at least 8 racing tonight.
Counting Clemson would be
8.
8? Yeah. I mean,
hopefully Dilly gets in there too.
And that would be 10 right there.
He needs to, I mean.
Alrighty, let's look at the playoff let's look at the playoff schedule right now. Alrighty, after tonight we'll be at Charlotte Roval, Martinsville in the
round of 9.
That means one driver will be eliminated. And then we got Dover, Texas, and Vegas.
That'll lead up to the Championship 4 in Phoenix.
Two good tracks for the night team coming up after Dover. Well, actually 3 good tracks coming after the Martinsville race right there. Last time we was at Martinsville, of course, Jaguar got his first career win at Martinsville. Now, this is the biggest thing. All right, you survived the first round. You go into the following next 3 races. This is crunch time now. How bad do you want the Final 4 spot? Because you're fighting the top. You're basically going to be fighting the top 4 contenders in them 3 races right there at Dover, Texas, and Phoenix.
And I mean, you can't afford to miss races because you miss races, you're in trouble.
That's the biggest thing right there. First 3 races ain't going to be no problem. It's all about the last 3 races coming up in the playoffs. It's like, okay, I got to do strategy now. I got to figure out, am I above that cut line? This playoff is going to be on everybody's head right here. There's some people that's like, okay, we got no Talladega. Daytona's the only restricted plate race I can get into the next round. Other than that, that's my only chance. That's their only last chance. Get into the next round.
Then again, you never know. Something might happen and one of the underdogs actually pull one out of their hat, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is one thing I love about playoffs. You got your top 2 contenders, Hangover and Jaguar. They're not sweating it right now in the first 3 playoffs. They're not worried about the first 3 races right now. They're not sweating it. It's the ones that are in 5th and below are sweating it real badly. That's the ones that I'm really going to be that we're really going to have to pay attention to, is the ones that's in the bottom half of the field, the points, in the playoff points, and then get it all shuffled up, because, like I said, the top 4, they're not sweating it right now. This is like, okay, this is just a normal race for us right here. We're not really too concerned about the wins right now. We just here to get stage points right now, and we win, we win. I mean, that's the biggest thing right now about the top 4. The top 4 are not sweating it at all. And we talked to Jaguar a couple of days ago, and he's like, he was literally said, and he laughed about this right here, I'm not worried about the first 3 races right here. I mean, it's like the first 3 races are easy races right here. This is the ones that, okay, I can finish in the top 5, top 6 for the first race. Finish top 5. Martin's last race, finish top 5 again. Advance to the next round. I mean, it's different confidence going. Each driver has different confidence, and Jaguar is like, man, forget it. First 3 races, I'm not worried about it. I got 4 races left. I know what I got to do. I know the next 3 races, I know what I got to do. I know what the car I got and stuff like that. So, I mean, I know Hangover ain't. I mean, Hangover's not really sweating it. To him, it's just another day in the office right here, racing, having a good time. But like we said, the bottom half of the racers, the 5th and below, are the ones that's going to be sweating it, because you're having to deal with Hangover, Jaguar, Dilly, and Tar Heel right there. That's basically your top 4. 5th and below, you're scratching your head right here with, like, okay, 3 races. If I'm on the bottom of the totem pole, I get eliminated after Martinsville. So it's aggravating people right now, especially, like I said earlier in the show, Clemson. He's scratching his head right now. You said it too. Clemson's scratching his head. Simon is probably in his mellow stage, trying to relax, not to try to really worry about Daytona right now because of how it can be played out, because there's really nothing you can really do at Daytona besides just riding it out. But, I mean, I talked to Bulldog. Bulldog, he's confident going into tonight's race, and he's like, we got a good car going into tonight, and if people will work with me, I would like to try to get my first win of the season, and I truly agree with Bulldog. It's all what he brought up was a good point right here. Being patient tonight. You have to have patience going into tonight. Right here.
The way I see it, if you miss any races in the playoffs, then you're going to have to win one before the end of the first 3 races. Bruce, I'm not sure about. Dilly, I'm not sure about them racing tonight.
Right.
We're just going to have to see what happens, you know.
Well, I mean, like you said, anything can go at Daytona because you got your first win at Daytona. It was basically the first race of the season. Now you're like, okay, we're back at Daytona. I know what I got to do now. Be patient. Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing that you keep saying is patient. It's all about being patient here. You have to be patient here. You cannot force the car below that yellow line right there. Some people thinking, what's patient here at Daytona? There's no patience here at Daytona. You got to be on that wheel every single lap right here. That is true. But you have to have that thin line of being patient and being an aggressive. It's all right to be patient in the first 2 stages. Last stage, forget the patience. Now, I'm sorry to say this. Last stage is out on the line. Forget patience. It's all about being aggressive in the last stage. You know the laps are winding down. You know what's on the line. And, yeah, patience is a virtue right here. But it falls back when every time we go to a restrict plate race. You have to be patient in the first 2 races, right? In the first 2 stages.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have patience, then I don't see you making it far into the playoffs. But this is my favorite time of the show right here. Rack 'em and stack 'em, where we pick stage 1, stage 2, and overall race win. It's Daytona. I understand it's going to be hard to pick your stage 1, stage 2 overall race win, but who's your pick for stage 1, stage 2 overall race win tonight?
Oh, man. I'm going to have to let you take this one, man.
Oh, man. All right. You're really putting me on the spot on this one, being the first one. All righty. Stage 1, I got to give it that number 9 Napa car right there. I have to give it to that number 9 car. Stage 2, I'm going to throw a Hail Mary on this one. I say Dustin gets his second stage win of the season right here. I say Dustin is in the right position right there. Get that stage 2. Overall, the one that will secure his spot going into the next round of the playoffs. Oh, I'm going to have to go with Tar Heel on this one tonight. I mean, I see the 9 car being strong tonight. I see the 19 being strong tonight. But the 9 car's been in a drought since the first race of the season. So no doubt in my mind, he's going to be on that wheel a lot more harder than everybody else will be. And I mean, that's why I choose the 9 car, because that drought is getting further and further drier every week. He's came close in the Charlotte. He came so close winning at his home track back in we raced at the Coke 600. And I mean, that was probably about the closest one that you had so far right there, is besides Daytona and Charlotte getting that second win of the season. So,
well, I mean, I've finished second about 3 or 4 times this season, and I'm going to say, like Alex Bowman said, I'm getting tired of finishing second.
But alrighty, who's your stage 1, stage 2 overall race win?
Well, I think stage 1, I'm going to have to give it to Bulldog. Stage 2, let's see, I'll probably have to give it to, if Dilly races, I'm going to give him stage 2. And I'm going to have to give the win, I'm going to have to give that one a Hangover. I mean, he's hot coming in the playoffs. I think he's going to start off good and win this race.
Yeah, that is a good pick right there. I mean, can't leave Hangover out. I mean, I would choose Hangover for next week, for the road courses right there. But I mean, anything can go right there. But guys, it's been good hanging out with y'all. Next week we'll be at the Charlotte Roval. Man, let's see, how many laps is that one? That is actually a 54-lap race right there next Sunday night. Then we go to Martinsville, I believe it's a 250. Yep, 250-lap race. Then we'll be back at Dover for another
lap race.
Yeah. Yeah, another 200-lap race. Then we go back to Texas. That will be 167, and then we go to Vegas, my favorite track right there. Hoping I can sweep that Vegas race right there.
That'll be, I believe, 134 laps.
Yeah, 134 laps. Actually, to be during the daytime, actually. That race will be under the daytime race right there. So, then, of course, we'll be in Phoenix with a 156-lap race for the season finale. Alrighty. Any news up on the truck season? Any updates for the truck schedule? They'll let everybody know.
The truck schedule is set, but it will be released in the off season break.
So guys,
that week break.
So guys, there's no truck race schedule revealed. All I know is there's one race that I'm looking forward to. Is one of my favorite tracks is Iowa. That is one of the races right there that I know of that's in the schedule right there is Iowa and Eldora. That's the two tracks I know for sure that's on the schedule right there is Iowa and Eldora for the All-Star race, I believe. I'm not for sure. I don't know the schedule yet. All I know there's two races that I'm looking forward to is Iowa because I love that track right there. But any particular track that you're looking for in the truck schedule?
I don't know, man. I mean, I know that I'm looking forward to Daytona. I'm looking forward to Eldora.
I'm looking for Iowa, Eldora, Michigan, Charlotte. I mean, truck race is always going to be good. I mean,
oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to, like I said, Iowa, Eldora, Michigan, Charlotte because
you're gonna have to wait a while for Iowa though.
Oh, I'm not worried about Iowa. Iowa's one of my tracks I can wait for right there. I mean, I love Iowa to death. That's a driver's track right there. That's a driver's choice right there where you can be on that wheel. To me, it's like a bigger version of Bristol to me because you have to be patient right there. You have to be aggressive in the first couple of laps because the field will get spread out quick if you're not careful. But
I think of it as a bigger version of Richmond.
Nah, there ain't no bigger version of Richmond right there. That's the bigger version of Bristol right there. But
I think of Dover is a bigger version of Bristol.
Yeah, yeah, because of the concrete surface right there, and Bristol's concrete surface. So yeah, Dover and Bristol's got the same concrete point of view right there. But I'm looking for Michigan because Michigan's always brings some good racing up there in the truck series. I mean, Charlotte has got some good racing right there. When you get about 10 to 8 people right there at Charlotte, Michigan, because you can stay in the draft a little bit longer. I mean, Daytona is the first race of the season, so I mean, I'm not getting into the depth of the truck schedule right now, but I'm just throwing what to expect for y'all that, whew, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm just hoping we run multiple lines at Daytona instead of right down there at the bottom.
That's why I like
I
the truck race.
I want to see some good racing. I mean,
I definitely want to see some good racing. Let's see what we got.
Just, running the bottom line, I mean, it can be frustrating for guys in the back because, I mean, they can't really get a lot of momentum in the corners, because it's the bottom line is where you want to be in the corners.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's different grooves, all right? I mean, I know last time we was at Texas and Vegas, there was multiple grooves, but that was during the day-night race at Vegas. The Texas race was during the daytime. It's gonna be a daytime race again. I mean, Martinsville is all about going to be the bottom lane right there. And I mean, this is where everybody's going to be anticipating, okay, Daytona, Charlotte Roval. We know Charlotte Roval is not going to be everybody's best track going into next weekend. Mm-hmm. And I mean, Martinsville is there's going to be a lot of bump and run at Martinsville. And I mean, a lot of braking, a lot of overdriving the corners right there. And that's one thing that everybody's like, we both know in the experience at Martinsville. You're going to overdrive them corners if you're not careful, or somebody's going to run you in the back end of your butt and sling you up the track.
Oh, I tell you, man, I've overrun them the corners there. I've overrun them at Richmond.
I've overrun them I've got better. And, I mean, it's all about being patient right now, and that's the key thing. Tonight, I hope we have multiple lines running tonight. I hope that second groove starts working in the first 6 laps tonight. Right there, because it's going to be boring if we stay single file.
Mm-hmm.
But, guys, it's been a great show. Shoot. Don't expect to see me none this Friday because I will not be nowhere near the PlayStation this Friday coming up. I will actually be either Applebee's or getting drunk.
Well, I'm looking forward for tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I get off at 4:30 tomorrow. Unfortunately, I thank God that we ain't got class tomorrow. But because of President's Day.
Tomorrow I'll be helping my dad. Hopefully, I won't be there too late, so I can come home and watch at least the last half of the race.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, I turned 36 Friday, so it's going to be getting off Thursday, plus we get taxes in. We got some big shipments coming in with some amazing diecast cars. I can't wait to show y'all on YouTube or on Facebook, whatever it comes first, because of. So, that being said and done, guys, I'm going to hop off here. I'm going to get back on playing some Call of Duty for a little while, maybe do some cup practice, and get ready for the shenanigans. We never know. We might race at 1:30 today instead of 8 o'clock because of I like to race at.
It's going to be an 8 o'clock race.
I like to race at 1:30 where we can have Bruce running. I mean, that would be a good thing right there if we could race at 1:30 where we have Bruce running, because I kind of feel bad that he won't get to race with us at 8 o'clock tonight.
I know, it's a bummer. But, I mean, he might be racing. He said it's a maybe.
Well, let's just find out. But, guys, it's been a great show, and we'll see. Actually, Ryan will be back next Sunday to talk about the Charlotte Roval, and we'll have some updated points for y'all. I'm looking forward to it. The only one I dread right now is the Charlotte Roval because I hate that track, but that's just me. But
I'm
we
not
will,
really looking forward to it either.
but we will see y'all next Sunday morning at 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central. Until then, we'll see y'all. We'll see y'all next week, guys.
All right, peace out.
Later.